Story 1. I've been working at the quick stop gas station for about 8 months now. It's not glamorous, but it pays my bills while I finish my associate degree in business management at the community college. I work the evening shift, 4 to midnight, which means I deal with all kinds of people. Rush hour commuters, truckers, late-night snack runners, and occasionally some really strange situations. This particular incident happened on a Wednesday evening around 7. I was behind the counter restocking cigarettes when I heard the pump beep indicating someone had finished fueling. I glanced at my monitor and saw it was pump number 4. The total came to $73.20. Pretty standard for someone filling up an SUV. I waited for them to come inside to pay. We're a pay-after-you-pump station during daytime hours since we have cameras everywhere and most people are honest. After about 5 minutes, nobody had come in. I looked out the window and saw a woman sitting in her car at pump 4, just scrolling on her phone. I use the intercom system we have. Excuse me, pump 4. You need to come inside to pay, please. She looked up at the speaker, rolled her eyes, and went back to her phone. I waited another minute and tried again. Ma'am at pump 4, please come inside to complete your transaction. This time she got out of her car. She was wearing yoga pants and a shirt that said, "Mommy needs wine," and had this expression like I'd just asked her to climb Mount Everest. She walked inside and stopped at the counter with her arms crossed. "Karen, I'm not paying." "I'm sorry, what?" "Karen, I said I'm not paying. Fuel should be free for mothers. Do you have any idea how expensive it is to raise children?" I actually laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. Ma'am, everyone has to pay for gas. That's how gas stations work." "Karen, that's discrimination. I have 3 kids at home and I drive them everywhere. To school, to soccer, to dance, to playdates. I'm doing society a service by raising the next generation, and I shouldn't have to pay for fuel. I understand raising kids is expensive, but I still need you to pay for the gas you just pumped." 73.20. "Karen, no, this is ridiculous. In Europe, mothers get all kinds of benefits. Free healthcare, paid leave, and they should get free fuel too. America needs to catch up. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to pay or I'll have to call the police." "Karen, call them. They'll agree with me. I'm a taxpayer and a mother." I pulled out my phone and started dialing. She huffed and stormed back to her car. I thought maybe she was getting her wallet, but instead she got in the driver's seat and started the engine. I immediately hit the emergency shut-off for all the pumps and locked the front door. Ma'am, you need to turn off your vehicle and come back inside." She backed up like she was going to leave, and I was already on the phone with the police dispatcher giving them her license plate number. But then she did something I absolutely did not expect. She put the car in drive and accelerated straight toward the building. I barely had time to dive behind the counter before her SUV crashed through the glass front door. The sound was unbelievable. Glass exploding everywhere, metal crunching, the alarm system going crazy. The car stopped about halfway into the store, having destroyed the door, the lottery ticket display, and a good chunk of the candy rack. For a moment, everything was silent except for the alarm. Then I heard her car door open. "Karen, now look what you made me do. If you'd just let me leave, this wouldn't have happened. I'm going to sue you for emotional distress." I stayed behind the counter with my phone. The police are already on their way. You just committed multiple felonies on camera." "Karen, I'm the victim here. You were trying to extort money from a struggling mother." The police arrived within 3 minutes. They found her standing in the wreckage of my store, still ranting about how fuel should be free for mothers and how this was all somehow my fault. They arrested her right there for theft of services, property destruction, and reckless endangerment. Turns out she had 2 prior incidents at other businesses where she tried to get free stuff by claiming she deserved it for being a mother. The gas she stole was $73. The damage to the store was estimated at over $15,000. Her car was totaled. Her insurance refused to cover it since she'd deliberately driven into a building. My manager reviewed the security footage and told me I'd handled it perfectly by locking the doors and getting out of the way. The store was closed for 3 days while they fixed everything. I got those days paid and a bonus for dealing with the situation calmly. She ended up with criminal charges, a suspended license, and a court order to pay restitution. All over $73 she didn't want to pay because she thought being a mother entitled her to free gas. Story 2. I've been a dental hygienist for about 3 years now. I work at a small practice with just one dentist, and most days are pretty routine. Cleanings, fillings, the occasional root canal. Our patients are usually pretty understanding about wait times and procedures. But last Tuesday, I met someone who made me seriously reconsider my career choices. I was in the middle of assisting the dentist with a patient who was getting a filling. This patient had been terrified of dentists their whole life, and it had taken months of gentle encouragement to even get them in the chair. The dentist was being extra careful, talking them through every step, making sure they were comfortable. We were about halfway through the procedure when I heard shouting from the waiting room. At first, I tried to ignore it. The waiting room was the receptionist's domain, and she was perfectly capable of handling difficult patients. But the shouting got louder, and then I heard footsteps stomping down the hallway toward the treatment rooms. Before I could even react, this woman burst through the door. She looked around the room like she was shopping for furniture, completely ignoring the fact that there was a patient in the chair with their mouth wide open and various dental instruments inside. Excuse me, you can't be in here right now. We're in the middle of a procedure. Karen, I don't care. I've been waiting out there for 20 minutes. The dentist looked up from his work, his hands still positioned carefully in the patient's mouth. His voice was calm but firm. Dentist, ma'am, you need to return to the waiting room immediately. As you can see, I'm currently treating another patient. Karen, well, you need to treat me instead. I have an appointment. Your appointment isn't for another half hour. You arrived early, which is fine, but you still need to wait until your scheduled time. Karen, that's ridiculous. The chair is right there, and you're just doing a filling. That doesn't take long. The patient in the chair made a distressed noise. Their eyes were wide with panic, and I could see their hands gripping the armrest tightly. The last thing this poor person needed was additional stress during an already difficult procedure. Dentist, I need you to leave this room right now, or I'll have to cancel your appointment entirely. Karen, you can't cancel my appointment. I took time off work for this. She actually started walking toward the dental chair like she was planning to physically remove the patient from it. I stepped between her and the chair, holding up my hands. Ma'am, stop. You need to go back to the waiting room right now. Karen, I'm not going anywhere. That patient can wait. They're already in the chair. They're obviously not as anxious as I am about dentists. I wanted to point out that her behavior was probably making everyone in the building anxious, but I bit my tongue. The dentist carefully withdrew his instruments from the patient's mouth and stood up to his full height. He was a tall man, and when he was serious, he could be quite intimidating. Dentist, this is your final warning. Leave this treatment room immediately, return to the waiting room, and wait for your scheduled appointment time. If you refuse, I will call security and have you removed from the building. Karen, security. This is a dental office, not a bank. You don't have security. Dentist, the building has security, and I will absolutely call them. You're disrupting a medical procedure, causing distress to my patient, and creating a hostile environment. Leave. Now. Something in his tone must have finally gotten through to her because she took a step back. But she wasn't done complaining. Karen, fine, but I expect a discount for this terrible service. You're getting a cancellation. Your appointment is canceled. Please collect your belongings and leave the building. Karen, you can't cancel my appointment. Dentist, I absolutely can. I reserve the right to refuse service to anyone who creates an unsafe environment for my staff and other patients. You barged into an active treatment room, attempted to interfere with a medical procedure, and showed complete disregard for another patient's well-being. I won't be treating you today or any other day." Karen's face turned bright red. "Karen, I'll leave a terrible review online. Everyone will know how awful this place is. Me, that's your choice. But right now, you need to leave." She glared at both of us, then at the patient in the chair who was watching this whole scene with wide eyes. Finally, she spun on her heel and marched out of the room. We could hear her shouting at the receptionist as she left, something about discrimination and lawsuits. The dentist let out a long breath and turned back to the patient in the chair. "Dentist, I am so sorry about that. Are you okay to continue?" The patient nodded slowly, though they still looked shaken. I gave them a reassuring smile and handed them a cup of water to rinse their mouth. "Me, you're doing great. We're almost done with the filling, and then you'll be all set." We finished the procedure without any more interruptions. The patient actually thanked us for not letting that woman disrupt their treatment, which was incredibly gracious considering how stressful the situation must have been for them. After they left, the receptionist came back to tell us that Karen had indeed left a scathing review online, claiming we'd refused to treat her for no reason and that we were discriminatory and unprofessional. The dentist responded to the review with a simple statement, explaining that the practice maintains the right to refuse service to patients who create unsafe environments for staff and other patients. Within a day, several of our regular patients had left positive reviews defending us and explaining what a kind, professional practice we run. One person even mentioned they'd been in the waiting room during Karen's outburst and witnessed the whole thing. I haven't seen her since, and honestly, I hope I never do again. Story 3. I've been working mall security for 5 years now, ever since I left the military. The job seemed simple enough when I started, mostly walking around, helping lost kids find their parents, and dealing with the occasional shoplifter. The pay is decent, and it keeps me active. I've seen a lot of weird stuff over the years, but nothing prepared me for what happened during the Christmas rush last December. It was the second Saturday before Christmas, which meant the mall was absolutely packed. Every store had lines, the food court was chaos, and the Santa's workshop setup in the center court had a wait time of over an hour. I'd been assigned to patrol that area because crowds plus excited kids sometimes equals trouble. Usually, it's just impatient toddlers having meltdowns or parents arguing about whose turn it is. Normal stuff. I was standing near the workshop entrance when she appeared. She had a boy who looked about 7 or 8 years old, and she was dragging him by the wrist while staring at her phone. The kid looked miserable. The workshop had a whole system. You checked in with an elf at the front, got a number, and waited in the designated area. There were probably 30 families ahead of her. I watched her march straight past the check-in point toward the Santa setup. The elf working the entrance, a college kid named Marcus, who I'd chatted with a few times, stepped forward politely. "Marcus, hi there. Welcome to Santa's workshop. If you could just check in over at that table, we'll get you a number and let you know the approximate wait time." She barely looked at him. "Karen, we're not waiting. My son needs to see Santa now." "Marcus, I understand, but we have quite a few families ahead of you. The wait is about an hour right now, but we have a play area set up where kids can do crafts while they wait." "Karen, did you not hear me? My son has a birthday party to get to in 45 minutes. We're going first." I started walking closer. This had all the signs of becoming my problem. "Marcus, I'm sorry, but everyone here has been waiting. It wouldn't be fair to let anyone skip the line unless there's a medical emergency." She looked at the families waiting and then back at Marcus with complete disgust on her face. "Karen, these people can wait an extra 5 minutes. It won't kill them." A dad sitting nearby with his 2 daughters spoke up. "Dad, lady, we've been here for 40 minutes already. Get in line like everyone else." She ignored him completely and grabbed her son's hand, pulling him toward where Santa was currently taking a photo with a little girl who couldn't have been more than 4 years old. The girl was giggling and telling Santa about her cat. I picked up my pace, speaking into my radio. "Me, hey, I might need backup at Santa's workshop. Got a situation developing. Karen marched right up to the photo area. Santa looked up, confused, still holding the little girl on his lap. Karen, excuse me, we need to go next. My son has somewhere to be. Santa, who was actually a pretty nice retired guy named Bill that I'd talked to during his breaks, tried to stay in character. Santa, well, hello there, I'd love to meet your son, but I'm still visiting with this nice young lady. If you wait with the elves, I'll see you very soon. That's when she snapped. She reached over and physically grabbed the little girl under her arms and yanked her off Santa's lap. The girl let out a shocked cry, and Santa jumped up from his chair. Santa, what are you doing? The little girl's mother, who'd been standing just outside the photo area, screamed and rushed forward. I broke into a run. Mother, get your hands off my daughter. She snatched her crying daughter away from the woman, who was already trying to push her own son onto Santa's lap. The boy was crying now too, clearly terrified by his mother's behavior. I reached them in seconds, positioning myself between the woman and the mother with her daughter. Me, ma'am, you need to step back right now. Karen, she's fine. I barely touched her. My son needs his picture. The mother was shaking with anger while comforting her sobbing child. Mother, you assaulted my daughter. You put your hands on my child. A crowd had formed. Parents were pulling out their phones to record. Santa looked completely shocked, his fake beard slightly askew from jumping up so fast. Me, ma'am, I'm going to need you to come with me. You just physically removed someone else's child without permission. That's assault. Karen, oh, please, I was just moving her. She was done anyway. Everyone is being so dramatic. My backup arrived, another security officer named Jenkins. I quickly explained the situation while the mother gave her statement, still holding her frightened daughter. Multiple witnesses, including Santa himself, confirmed exactly what happened. Karen finally seemed to realize the severity of the situation when Jenkins pulled out his handcuffs. Jenkins, ma'am, mall security is detaining you until police arrive. You have the right to remain silent. Karen, wait, what? No, I have a birthday party. My son needs his picture. Her son was full on sobbing now. A female security supervisor who'd arrived took him aside gently, trying to calm him down and figure out who else could pick him up. Me, you put your hands on someone else's child. That's not something we take lightly. The police arrived about 10 minutes later. They took statements from everyone, including Santa, the mother, and at least 6 other witnesses. The mother decided to press charges. The woman was arrested for assault and child endangerment, and child services was called regarding her son. Santa took a 15-minute break to compose himself. When he came back, he made sure the little girl who'd been grabbed got extra time with him and a special stuffed reindeer from the prize cabinet. Her mother was crying with gratitude. The woman's son never did get his Santa picture that day, but I heard later that his grandmother, who picked him up from the station, brought him back the next week. Santa made sure he got the full experience, and from what Marcus told me, the kid was a lot happier without his mother hovering over him. I've worked a lot of Christmases at this mall, but that was the first and only time I've ever had to arrest someone at Santa's workshop. Story 4. I've been a lifeguard at the community pool for 4 summers now. I started when I was 16, fresh out of certification class, terrified I'd mess up and someone would drown on my watch. My first supervisor was this grizzled veteran who'd been doing it for 20 years. He told me the job was 99% boredom and 1% pure adrenaline. He was right. Most days I just sit in my chair, blow the whistle at kids running on the deck, and make sure nobody's struggling in the water. The pay isn't great, but it got me through community college. Now I'm studying to be a paramedic, working at the pool during summer break. I've done CPR twice, pulled out 3 panicking swimmers, and broken up more arguments than I can count. You'd think a public pool would be relaxing, but people get weird about water. Add summer heat and kids hopped up on popsicles, and things can get tense fast. Last Saturday was our busiest day of the season. Temperature hit 95 degrees, and it felt like half the town showed up. The pool was packed. Kids doing cannonballs, parents floating on inner tubes, teenagers showing off their diving skills. I was scanning the water constantly, counting heads, watching for any signs of distress. That's when she appeared at the base of my lifeguard chair. "Karen, excuse me, I need you to clear the pool." I looked down at her. Designer sunglasses, expensive swimsuit, the kind of manicure that probably cost more than my weekly paycheck. Me, I'm sorry. What? "Karen, clear the pool. All these people need to leave. My son has a sensitive condition, and he needs the pool to himself." I stared at her, waiting for the punchline. She was serious. "Me, ma'am, this is a public pool. I can't ask everyone to leave." "Karen, yes, you can. You're the lifeguard. It's a safety issue. My son gets overwhelmed in crowds. He needs space to swim properly." "Me, if he has special needs, we do have adult swim hours twice a day when it's less crowded. Those start at 7 tonight." "Karen, that's unacceptable. We're here now. Do you know how much my family pays in property taxes? We fund this pool." "Me, everyone here pays taxes, ma'am. The pool is a shared community resource. I can't clear it for one person." Her face turned red beneath her sunglasses. "Karen, this is discrimination. My son has rights. I'm going to report you to your supervisor." "Me, you're welcome to do that. The office is right over there." She stood there fuming for a moment, then stormed off. I thought that was the end of it. I went back to scanning the water, keeping count of the kids in the deep end. 5 minutes later, I heard shouting. Karen was standing at the edge of the pool, her son next to her looking embarrassed. Without warning, she jumped into the pool fully clothed, still wearing her sunglasses. The water was chest deep where she landed. She started moving through the crowded pool, deliberately splashing water at people. Not playful splashes, aggressive, two-handed waves of water directed right at kids' faces. I blew my whistle 3 times, the signal for everyone to stop and look at me. "Me, ma'am, exit the pool immediately." "Karen, not until everyone else leaves. My son needs to swim." She splashed a group of kids so hard one of them started crying. Parents were yelling now, pulling their children away from her. "Me, you need to exit the pool right now, or I'm calling the police." "Karen, call them. I'll tell them how you refuse to accommodate my son's disability." I climbed down from my chair and radioed for my manager while keeping my eyes on her. She was still splashing, moving through the water like some kind of deranged fountain, soaking anyone within reach. My manager arrived and told her she had 30 seconds to exit or face arrest for disorderly conduct. Karen kept splashing. We called the police. When the officers arrived, she was screaming about discrimination and threatening lawsuits. Her son was sitting on a bench, head in his hands, absolutely mortified. The officers escorted her out in handcuffs, still dripping pool water. The kicker. After she left, her son apologized to everyone. Said his mom does this kind of thing all the time, that he didn't even want to swim that day. She dragged him there. One of the other parents offered him a ride home, so he wouldn't have to wait at the police station. She got banned from the pool for the entire season and charged with disorderly conduct. Her son? He came back the next week with his dad, who apologized profusely. The kid was polite, quiet, swam for an hour without any issues whatsoever. Turned out the only sensitive condition he had was an embarrassing mother. Story 5. I've been working as a cashier at Save Mart grocery store for 2 years now. It's my first real job since graduating high school, and I'm saving up for culinary school. The work is pretty straightforward most days. Scan items, bag groceries, smile at customers, repeat. We also handle the lottery machine near the customer service desk, which is usually no big deal. People buy their tickets, scratch them off, and either leave happy or try again next time. This happened on a Friday afternoon, right after I'd clocked in for my shift. Fridays are always busy because people get paid and want to try their luck with the weekend lottery drawings. I was restocking the receipt paper when this woman rushed up to the customer service desk where I was stationed. She looked frantic, her hair was messy, and she was clutching this huge designer purse that probably cost more than I make in a month. "Karen, you need to give me a lottery ticket right now." "Me, sure. Which game would you like? We have Powerball, Mega Millions, or the scratch-offs." "Karen, no, you don't understand. I need the winning ticket." "Me, I'm sorry. I don't understand what you mean. I can sell you a ticket, but I can't know which one will win." "Karen, I dreamed the numbers last night. I saw them clear as day. The universe is telling me I'm supposed to win. You need to hand me the winning ticket." "Me, ma'am, the lottery is random. I can't predict which ticket will win. Would you like to purchase a ticket with your numbers on it?" "Karen, are you stupid? I'm not paying for what's already mine. I dreamed it, which means spiritually that money belongs to me. The universe has already decided." My manager heard the commotion and came over. "Manager, is there a problem here?" "Karen, yes, your employee is keeping my lottery winnings from me. I had a prophetic dream, and I know there's a winning ticket in that machine. She needs to give it to me." "Manager, I'm sorry, ma'am, but that's not how the lottery works. If you'd like to purchase a ticket, we're happy to help you." "Karen, this is theft. You're stealing my destiny. I know my rights. That winning ticket belongs to me." "Me, ma'am, even if there is a winning ticket, which we have no way of knowing, we can't just give away lottery tickets. They're inventory that we're responsible for." "Karen, I don't care about your stupid inventory. That ticket is mine. I saw it in my dream. A white ticket with red numbers. It's worth millions, and the universe sent me here to claim it." "Manager, ma'am, if you're not going to make a purchase, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." "Karen, fine. If you won't give me what's mine, I'll take it myself." She reached over the counter trying to grab at the lottery machine. I stepped back and my manager moved between her and the equipment. "Manager, ma'am, stop. You cannot touch that machine." "Karen, it's mine. My dream said so." My manager grabbed the phone to call security. That's when things got really crazy. This woman opened her giant purse, and I thought maybe she was getting her wallet to actually buy a ticket. Instead, she swung the purse with full force at the lottery machine. The first hit cracked the display screen. She swung again, and the plastic casing shattered. Lottery tickets started spilling out onto the counter. "Me, stop. What are you doing?" "Karen, finding my ticket." She kept smashing the machine, hitting it over and over with her purse. The metal frame bent, sparks flew from the electrical components, and tickets were flying everywhere. Other customers were backing away, and someone was filming on their phone. "Manager, security. We need security at customer service now." The machine made this horrible grinding noise, and then went completely dead. She'd destroyed it. There were lottery tickets scattered all over the floor and counter. The display was shattered, and the whole thing was smoking slightly. Karen started grabbing tickets off the counter, frantically checking them. "Karen, where is it? Where's my ticket? It has to be here." Security arrived, 2 guys who usually handle shoplifters. Security guard, "Ma'am, you need to come with us right now." "Karen, not until I find my winning ticket. I dreamed about it. It's here somewhere." Security guard, "Ma'am, you just destroyed store property. We're calling the police." "Karen, I don't care. That ticket is worth millions. It belongs to me." They escorted her away from the wreckage while she screamed about her prophetic dream and how we were all thieves stealing her destiny. She was still clutching a handful of unscratched lottery tickets she grabbed from the destroyed machine. The police showed up about 10 minutes later. They arrested her for vandalism and theft. Turns out the purse she'd used as a weapon actually had a brick in it that she carried for protection, which made the destruction even worse. The lottery machine was completely totaled. Our manager had to file an insurance claim for over $8,000 in damages. The lottery company had to send a technician to account for all the tickets and make sure none of the damaged ones could be fraudulently claimed. The security footage went viral after another customer posted it online. People couldn't believe someone had destroyed a lottery machine over a dream. The comments were full of people joking about her prophetic vision leading to jail time instead of millions. She ended up pleading guilty to criminal mischief and had to pay restitution for the machine plus court fees. None of the tickets she grabbed were winners. Not a single one. All because she thought dreaming about numbers meant the universe owed her a jackpot.